Amid the vast ocean, the most remote islands in the world hide in absolute silence. These places, untouched and undisturbed, retain their pristine beauty like undiscovered gems. Today's journey will take you to these forgotten islands, where isolation creates an unparalleled sense of peace. Here, every step on the white sand and every breeze through the trees tells a story of untouched, pure nature. This is not just a destination. It is a sacred space where you can find true serenity. And when the journey ends, these islands may fade from memory, but the feeling of peace and stillness they bring will stay in your soul forever. Skellig Islands is a remote island group off the western coast of Ireland, far from regular sea routes. It features steep rock formations eroded into nearly vertical cliffs rising from the sea. The main island, Skellig Michael, houses an early stone monastery built by monks in the 6th century, using dry stone techniques without mortar. In addition to ancient structures, the island serves as a natural breeding site. On Skellig, the towering cliffs shelter not only the ancient monks, but also thousands of seabirds like puffins and redshanks. Yet, what still puzzles archaeologists is how the monastery was built at such heights, using only stone, with no mortar and no modern tools. Skellig is more than an island. It's a chapter of sacred history, recognized by UNESCO for its religious, ecological, and remote significance. Far across the sea, about 220 miles from the mainland, lies Fernando de Noronha, a strictly protected tropical paradise with volcanic peaks, forests growing on ancient basalt, and beaches so untouched they feel like the dawn of Earth. Its waters are teeming with life. Spinner dolphins leaping, sea turtles gliding, reef sharks, rays, and dazzling tropical fish dancing through coral reefs. Thanks to strict visitor limits, the ecosystem remains clean, balanced. Local communities live through traditional fishing and ecotourism, preserving the soul of the island. At the edge of the ocean, far from cities, roads, and human noise, the Pitcairn Islands remain one of the last truly untouched places on Earth. No airport, no hotels, no buildings rising from the land, just a few dozen residents living quietly among rocky hills, thick forests, and narrow shorelines constantly reshaped by crashing waves. Life here depends entirely on rare supply ships. Each arrival is a moment of celebration, because missing one means waiting again in solitude. The sea around the island remains crystal clear, coral systems thrive, tropical fish flourish, and marine life lives free from commercial fishing. Visitors often explore the island by diving, snorkeling, hiking over volcanic terrain, or simply observing wildlife in designated areas. Meanwhile, the locals take part in conservation programs, silently protecting a paradise that has vanished elsewhere in the world. It is this complete isolation that has preserved Pitcairn's environment like a living time capsule, turning it into a rare site for studying the long-term impact of humans on small island ecosystems. Farther north, where warm and cold ocean currents collide, lies St. Pierre and Miquelon, a rare French territory near North America, emerging like a world set apart. The weather here is wildly unpredictable. Fog can linger for days, unmoved by shifting winds or rising sun. The islands are marked by granite ridges layered with soft sediment, small bays, closed lagoons, and flood-prone lowlands shape its coastal outline. Exposed coastal rocks hold marine fossils, some still unclassified in paleontological records. In the icy waters offshore, Deep-sea fish and migratory seals share the same space, while the land is ruled by lichens, grasses, and shrubs, clinging to rock, defying the winds and surviving under skies no forecast can predict. Far to the south, in the heart of the Indian Ocean, lies Socotra, a territory of Yemen, emerging like a world apart. Strange, unique, and unlike anywhere else on Earth. Dragon blood trees with alien shapes grow side by side, with hundreds of plant species found nowhere else. The limestone terrain, dry air, and constant winds have sculpted an ecosystem of extraordinary adaptability. Locals have lived here for generations, preserving traditional ways untouched by cities or modern sprawl. Authorities and international conservation groups work together to limit tourism and protect the island's pristine nature. Every trip to Socotra is a journey into a realm almost entirely separate from the rest of the planet. Flores Island, a hidden gem in the Atlantic Ocean, shaped by ancient volcanic forces. Its terrain holds deep crater lakes, towering waterfalls, mountain ponds, and jagged basalt spires like stone teeth. Though people live here, most of the island remains untouched. Untouched by cities, untouched by time, preserving thick native vegetation soaked in mountain mist. Its ecosystem harbours endemic species that grow only in humid, high-altitude terrain. Several crater lakes remain largely unexplored, with mysterious fluctuations in water levels still unexplained. This isolation, this natural uniqueness, earned Flores the status of a UNESCO biosphere reserve, yet it remains a secret to much of Europe. If any place on this journey moves you, leave a comment, drop a heart, and share the video with other souls who are also longing to touch the original world. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue the journey together to discover the magical lands that have not been told. Farther south, in the Tasman Sea, Lord Howe Island rises from the remains of an ancient volcano. Coral reefs fringe the shoreline. Twin peaks rise near the coast, and sheer cliffs divide ecosystems by height. Here, the Kentia palm, prehistoric ferns, and the rare Lord Howe, flightless bird, all thrive in a world untouched by invasive predators. Christmas Island is not a coral island, but the exposed peak of an extinct ocean volcano, later capped by limestone formed from ancient coral deposits. Its terrain is complex, with limestone plateaus, dense rainforest, and steep coastal cliffs, leading down to natural sinkholes and underground caves. Located over 930 miles from the mainland, and under strict ecological control, the island remains wild. Best known for the mass migration of millions of red crabs during the rainy season. A strange phenomenon involves seabird flocks disappearing entirely for weeks, then returning suddenly with no traceable movement through satellite or tracking devices. What makes the island truly unique is the combination of volcanic base, fossil coral layers, and tropical forest in one compact space, supporting hundreds of endemic species found nowhere else. And in all of East Africa, there is only one place where glowing seas have ever been recorded: Zanzibar, where glowing plankton light up the shoreline, casting waves of blue fire beneath the night sky. Beyond the coastal villages, much of Zanzibar remains covered in mangrove forests, brackish lagoons, and untouched grasslands. Surrounding coral reefs curl into arcs, forming calm lagoons where isolated ecosystems thrive in quiet solitude. Zanzibar stands as a rare convergence where coral, rings, glowing waves, and underground water systems meet in the heart of the Indian Ocean. And then there is Mauritius. Once the only home of the dodo, its extinction a haunting reminder of how fragile isolated ecosystems can be. The island was born from volcanic fire, but its heart is forest and highlands, not barren craters. Offshore, an illusion lingers, the famous underwater waterfall where sand flows over submerged slopes, creating the surreal appearance of water cascading into the deep. The waters around Mauritius host slow-growing hard corals and endemic marine life still. Awaiting full scientific understanding, deep in its forests, trees still bear fruit once eaten by the dodo, a silent link between extinct creatures and surviving plants. Mauritius is a rare convergence of ancient geology, rare biology, and natural illusions. A perfect field site for interdisciplinary study in evolution, ecology, and marine geography. Farther across the Indian Ocean lies Réunion, a living paradox. Home to one of the world's most active volcanoes, Piton de la Fournaise, yet just a few kilometers away, untouched ecosystems still thrive. Its terrain is carved by deep valleys, collapsed craters, and basalt plateaus, forming underground rivers and vertical waterfalls. Some forest regions are shrouded in fog year-round, nurturing moss, lichens, and low canopy plants rarely seen in tropical zones. Near-shore waters drop off suddenly into the deep, allowing coastal life and deep-sea species to coexist, within only meters of each other. A world where the boundary between shallow and deep, fire and water, life and extinction, blurs into mystery. But far to the north, Lofton emerges like a vertical world, where steep mountains rise directly from the sea, forming towering rock walls just meters from the shoreline, a rare sight among Arctic archipelagos. The main islands are linked by narrow cliffside roads, surrounded by cold, nutrient-rich waters that draw seasonal cod migrations. Beneath the waves, submerged rock shelves and deep basins harbour cold water coral systems and bottom-dwelling creatures thriving in shadow. Some narrow fjords have recorded still sea phenomena, where strong surface winds blow. Yet the nearshore waters remain eerily calm, sparking theories of reversed current layering. On land, the vegetation is sparse, dominated by hardy lichens and frost-resistant shrubs, growing slowly but evenly. From windswept slopes down to coastal wetlands, the collision of sheer sea-mountain topography, deep, cold biology, and unexplained ocean behaviour makes Lawton a rare and valuable Arctic research frontier. If any place on this journey moves you, leave a comment, drop a heart, and share the video with other souls who are also longing to touch the original world. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue the journey together to discover the magical lands that have not been told. When sea levels rose after the Ice Age, Tasmania broke away from the mainland, leaving behind an ancient landmass shaped by granite and sandstone, slowly weathered through time. Its landscape blends coastal plains, a central mountain chain, natural lakes, glacial valleys, and soft, temperate forests. Isolation and a gentle climate helped preserve native marsupials, and ancient plants still following undisturbed natural rhythms, unchanged for thousands of years. Tasmania protects a relict ecosystem, where species once spread across Australia, now survive only here, in quiet, dwindling numbers. Further west, Naxos reveals folded terrain, with narrow plains cradled between stony hills, and a coastline shifting between soft sands and jagged outcrops. Far inland, grapevines and olive trees line shallow terraces, leading to sun-aged villages built of unpainted white stone, left to weather as if time itself had grown tired and turned to dust. The sea around Naxos moves like a lullaby. Gentle currents, cool, clear water, where bottom-feeding fish, sea urchins, octopus, and unmoving patches of seagrass quietly dwell. Residents grow crops, make cheese, spin thread, and bake bread in wood-fired ovens, their daily rhythm unfolding in shared courtyards, where the sounds are simple: wind on rooftops, spoons on pottery, and boats tapping softly at the shore during high tide. There are no fixed paths here. Each day begins where there is shade, and ends when there's nothing more to be done. Gozo, the second largest island in the Maltese archipelago, rests quietly in the Mediterranean Sea. Its limestone landscapes, peaceful villages, and rural calm feel like time has slowed to breathe. Generations have lived in close-knit communities, farming, fishing, crafting by hand. And here, the ancient Gantija temple, over 5,500 years old, still stands, a monument to what endures, even as everything else flows quietly by. Surviving structures on the island of Gozo, now recognized by UNESCO, stand quietly among high cliffs, narrow bays, and sea caves, shaping an environment rich in both biology and archaeological meaning. Religious processions, village feasts, and folk music still shape the heartbeat of daily life. Traditions remain not as memories, but as living rhythm. Each visit to Gozo uncovers a world where time slows down, and the island holds tradition not in museums, but in the wind, the steps, the silence. In the Caribbean, St. Lucia rises with near-perfect symmetry in its twin volcanic peaks, the Pitons, a UNESCO-recognized wonder formed by solidified lava thrust vertically from deep within the earth. The island's terrain is sharply dissected by ravines and steep inclines, with a thin but mineral-rich surface shaped from stratified volcanic ash over millennia. Some hot springs and sulfur lakes still emit gas continuously, as though the earth itself were exhaling, whispering from deep within. With its volcanic formations, steady gas emissions, and slope-based ecological zoning, St. Lucia is ideal for interdisciplinary studies in geology and mountainous marine ecology. Far to the north, the Faroe Islands rise with towering sea cliffs, where seabirds nest in vertical tiers stretching dozens of meters skyward, creating a rare vertical ecosystem in the North Atlantic. The 18 main islands were built from stacked ancient lava flows, later eroded laterally to reveal layered horizontal rock and narrow valleys cut between them, a landscape shaped by time. Some offshore waters show standing current phenomena, where strong tides push through, yet the surface remains unnaturally calm for hours. Deep inland ravines shelter native dwarf forests, and thick carpets of lichen, thriving in low light and perpetual dampness. Situated at the meeting point of cold and warm currents, the sea here supports long-distance migrants like whales and seabirds travelling thousands of kilometres, with its stratified terrain, unpredictable marine behaviour, and vertical ecological structures. The Faroe Islands offer a one-of-a-kind Arctic-subarctic research realm. Kauai, the oldest island in the Hawaiian chain, was born over 5 million years ago through volcanic eruptions, then sculpted over time into deep canyons, tumbling waterfalls, and rugged rock terraces cloaked in green. Its terrain is remarkably varied, with a rain-soaked central plateau feeding dense stream networks and cascading waterfalls, while steep coastal cliffs blend into tropical forests and narrow bays. Thanks to its ancient age and long-standing isolation, Kauai supports hundreds of endemic plant and bird species found nowhere else on Earth. One unusual phenomenon here is the formation of fixed cloud gaps, clear corridors between mountain slopes that remain open even when the surrounding land is cloaked in fog or rain. What sets Kauai apart is the extreme basalt erosion, forming dense clusters of deep canyons within a compact space, a rarity among oceanic volcanic islands. We've walked past towering cliffs where seabirds nest in clouds, heard the quiet exhale of the earth through sulfur springs still alive, witnessed coral reefs brushing the spinning seams between oceans that never rest. Each island is its own world, where time doesn't flow the way it does on land, where isolation is not abandonment, but a different kind of existence, deeper, purer, older, in unmoving fog, in fractured stone, in the corridors of sky that stay bright when the rain surrounds. Nature is still telling its story, slowly, silently, as it has done for millions of years. And if there's one thread connecting all these islands, it's not just the sea, it's the soft, persistent truth that our world still has countless things left to hear. If you want to continue discovering untold mysteries, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, because the next video might change the way you see the universe.